Welcome back to Preservation Travels with Lane and Kevin. Today we're back in Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, welcome back to Preservation Travels with Lane and Kevin here at our Restoration Nation. Back today in the middle of Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm at a home where I can see the skyline of downtown Little Rock, but you would think you are in the middle of the woods. This home is absolutely spectacular. Built in 1926, a Tudor Revival home that retains so many of its incredible original features, but definitely shows us some evolution over time. So come inside and take a look at this beautiful time capsule of treasures. Welcome into this gorgeous Tudor Revival, built in 1926. Now remember, this home is built at a time when we in the United States are just evolving out of our high Victorian style era, that Queen Anne style that was popularized by Richard Norman Shaw, and it had a long run here in the United States, lasting well after the death of Queen Victoria. And really, the Tudor Revival style was one of the next styles that really took off hot. And guess who was one of the founding designers of this style? You're right, Richard Norman Shaw. So this is also part of his brainchild, his body of work that he came up with when he was so prolific in the late 19th and early 20th century. So here we are in a quintessential Tudor Revival home. Now, I'm going to stop you for those of you who are getting a little hot fingers and you're about to type a comment that says, that painted woodwork in that house, regret. Guess what? The woodwork in this house has always been painted. If it's unpainted today, it was unpainted 100 years ago. And if it's painted today, it was painted 100 years ago. How do we know? Because the current owners have a beautiful archive of all of the original finishes in this house. So I'm standing in this hallway, which you can see is paneled. It appears to have wood panels. We're going to see these echoed in the front parlor as well. All of this trim, the cornices, the panels, are plaster. These are 100-year-old plaster moldings. And in that archive I told you about, we have samples of the wallpapers that were originally inside these plaster frames. So we have a lot of history on this house of what it looked like when it was first built, and we can see how it's evolved through time. So let's go into this front living room and take a look at some of the amazing extant things we can find in here.
This video is brought to you by CuriosityStream, our favorite. Do you know why they're our favorite? It starts with content. CuriosityStream offers award-winning and original documentary films, shows, and series that you cannot find anywhere else. They've got a deep library of content, with content spanning science, nature, history, technology, military history, music, food, and more. There's something there for everyone. Right now, I'm watching Top 10, The Art of Architecture, and it's going through the top 10 bridges ever created. It's so much fun to watch. With plans starting at under $5 a month, you can gain access to thousands of hours of high-quality documentaries and series. With both monthly and annual plans available, you can choose the plan that works best for you and your budget. So this is what I want you to do. Go to curiositystream.com/restoration or scan the QR code for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series. And for our fans, use promo code RESTORATION and you will save 25%. So go to curiositystream.com/restoration today.
Here we are in the front parlor, and through the front window, we see absolutely unbelievably beautifully manicured front lawns. There's a little fountain out front that I know you're going to see in one of our drone shots that was originally designed to be a swimming pool for children. Out in the garden, we have the folly, which now serves as a single car garage, but the view out this front window is really worth the price of the house, much less the exquisitely maintained grandeur of this home. Now, here are more of these plaster moldings that I told you about. Again, originally this room was painted in a dark green, and inside these moldings, wallpaper was placed. But the real treasure in this room is the fireplace behind me. Here we have what is just your truly typical, what would have been considered trendy fireplace for your 1920 Tudor Revival style home. We see these in these arts and crafts homes, in mission style homes. Now, these tiles are interesting to me. In homes of this period, we most frequently see Batchelder tiles or Rookwood tiles. And the glazes on those tiles are fairly recognizable. It's easy to kind of differentiate and to tell what manufacturer they were, most of them manufactured out of California. These are a little bit of a mystery to me. I can't tell you definitively which one of the two manufacturers this came from. I have seen Batchelder tiles with a finish similar to this, but not exact. And what I find particularly interesting is this modeling of the rose and the green is a color scheme that we see really commonly in our late Victorian period homes. So it's almost as though this tile company went into its new period of production. We started doing these matte glazes, going to more of a mission style and arts and crafts style, but we kept our glaze colors. Maybe we had some left over. I don't know. Absolutely stunning with these two beautiful rosettes on either side. Now, something we know about this fireplace and the one I'm going to show you upstairs, for years they were covered in coats and coats and coats of paint. They'd been painted over. So our current owners have done a great job restoring them back to their beautiful original splendor. Something that happened to this home in the 1950s, a lot of things happened to this home in the 1950s, and one of them was that the original wood windows were removed from the house and aluminum windows were put in. Is that regrettable? Absolutely. But the 1950s aluminum windows are now getting close to 80 years old. So in their own right, they have historic significance. So do they ruin the look of the house? Not to me. Much better than modern windows, and show us again as this home has evolved over time. Let's go into the room that's had the most change in this house and shows us what happened during the mid-mod period to a lot of these early century homes. Could we get more 1950s than this? I'm standing in a sunken living room. I really don't think there's anything that says mid-mod more than a sunken living room. Now, let me tell you what this space used to be. Originally, behind me was all one level to the point where you see this window. It was another living space that came out same level, and the wall treatment was the same as we see in that entryway and living room. There was plaster with the moldings, the plaster moldings. Again, we have pictures of that from the archive. You can see what the original wall color was. And in the 1950s, when mid-mod hit, this is what happened. We got this sunken living room. Now, behind Kevin on the floor, and I've got a shot of it for you, is a koi pond. It's not full right now, but there is an indoor koi pond that you 100% could make function once again. And again, to me, when I think about mid-mod, I mean, just really quintessentially, indoor water features were such a hot thing. So you could have your indoor koi pond, and this mid-mod room could be your escape into the 20th century, from the earliest 20th century to the mid-20th century, and then you could look out onto your gorgeous skyline in your backyard. I don't think I'd change anything in this room. I love it. I know one person who looked at it today thought about turning it into a kitchen, but exits right out onto your beautiful flagstone patio. I think should say just as it is. Gorgeous dining room space, absolutely stunning. And you'll notice our 2 pair of arched French doors. There is a 3rd set in the basement. If you wish to replace them in the living room where they've been removed, they could be put right back in again. But again, you see the gorgeous plaster panels. So this theme carried throughout the entire front of the house. Unbelievable picture windows looking out over stunning views. One of the things that we see in this house that's very indicative of the period are the thin plank oak floors. They're very thin, they're very fine, they give a beautiful finish. One of the reasons for that is earlier hardwood flooring or earlier softwood flooring, your pine floors, your early fir floors, your cypress flooring, a lot of that was never meant to be seen. It was meant to go under carpet because earlier periods, carpet was a sign of wealth. When we get into this Tudor Revival period, wood flooring was seen as part of that design, and we're getting into a period where people want more natural materials in their home. They want to bring the outdoors indoors, and so the use of wood flooring became much more popular to leave it exposed. So you will not see in these floors carpet tacks from the remnants of old carpet. This floor was always meant to be seen, and it is just as beautiful today as it was in 1926 when it was put in. Now, I should tell you, this home actually served as the governor's mansion in the late 1940s. So really, this is your one opportunity to own an Arkansas governor's mansion. Let's go back here. Another gorgeous light-filled room, this time a breakfast room. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted by the landscaping. When you see the grounds of this house, the grounds are worth the purchase price. There are koi ponds, fountains, beautiful established shrubs everywhere. And in every room of the house, we have the opportunity to take advantage of those sites. But under my feet, another really important element that is extant to the original construction of this house, we have more art tile. And we have art tile again that mimics the glaze both of the fireplace that's in the main parlor and then the fireplace that's in the main bedroom upstairs. Sort of this mottled mix of colors from which the original colors of the decor of the house were taken. You'll see in this room as well. Now this is a very informal, fairly private space, but even in this room, we have these beautiful plaster moldings. Just really, really the highest amount of craftsmanship and artwork throughout this whole house. Now right off of this room is your original downstairs powder room. This is really when we get into a period of architecture where indoor plumbing and bathrooms are the norm, and people do expect them to be everywhere. So right off of this space in between here and the kitchen, we have a small butler's pantry type area with an original bathroom that still has its gorgeous period hex tile on the floor. I'm gonna let Kevin show you the kitchen after that, and then I'll join you upstairs. Oh, and we're gonna give you a peek of the basement too, where I found a laundry chute and some original light fixtures, exterior light fixtures that still have their mica glass in them. So take a peek at those, and I'll see you in the bedrooms. Here we are in what I would consider the main bedroom, and behind me is another one of these absolutely stunning art tile fireplaces. This one again retains every single one of its original tiles. This one in a shade of mottled grays and pinks with, of course, these beautiful blue and green florets. We know from the archive that this too was painted over with coats and coats of paint. So kudos to our current owners for stripping that down and revealing the beauty of this original tile work. Now, I want you to come with me as we go outside onto the huge second-story balcony from which we can see a view of the Arkansas River and the Little Rock skyline. One of the things that this home retains are its original bathrooms. We at our Restoration Nation are all about saving the original bathrooms. This home's downstairs powder room has its original tile. The main bathroom on the second floor was probably redone in the 1950s, but has incredible period fixtures. But the ensuite in this secondary bedroom retains all of its period fixtures, probably from 1926. All of the tile is here, the commode is here, the beautiful tub, the ceramic spigot, things that we just don't get anymore. We ask you to consider this. Anytime you're looking at purchasing a historic home, ask yourself this: what is more important? Something I think is trendy and modern, or is it more important that this home, these bathrooms, these fixtures were in place for probably 80 years before you were born, and if you maintain them and care for them, they will be here many, many, many decades after. Retaining the original is a testament to the builders of these homes, to what they've seen, to what they've experienced, and it's really not our place, with our arrogance, to rip them out and make them modern. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this look at this absolutely stunning architectural masterpiece. Rarely do we get the chance to go into a home and say, really, it's move-in ready. You could wait for the current owners to leave and just put your things in and enjoy. It needs nothing from you but more love and, more importantly, more respect. If you're tempted to write us a diatribe about all the things you'd need to change to live in this house, save your time. We love it just like it is, and so should you. Remember, our job with historic architecture is not to impose ourselves upon it, but to be a steward of it so that future generations can enjoy our built environment and our collective cultural history through beautiful masterpieces just like this. Thanks for joining us on Preservation Travels with Lane and Kevin here at Our Restoration Nation, and we'll see you next time.